Finally, The Rock has come back to the main event. Jerry Jones, let The Rock understand this for a second. Last year, the villain beat your ass in AT&T Stadium, and you decided to steal something from the villain that didn't belong to you. And this week, you're walking around like you're the number one contender for the Lombardi. Well, The Rock knows why that is. It's because Jerry Jones has a 3-foot nose and he sticks it straight up the referee's ass. And now on to you, Cowboy Dak Prescott, and let The Rock emphasize boy. The Rock understands what took place the night that you found out that the villain was coming back to Dallas. You got down on your hands and knees, and you put your little hands together, and you said a little prayer, and it sounded something like this. Oh, dear God, my name is Dak Prescott, and my team just paid me more money than any NFL player. But there's one problem. The villain, the fans, and everybody know that I absolutely suck. And right then, your house started to shake, and God himself spoke to you, and he said, Billy, and he said, but my name is Dak. It says, it doesn't matter what your name is. Dak Prescott, The Rock says this, at AT&T Stadium, week 6, 1 seed or no 1 seed, the villain is going to do to you exactly what he does best, and that is lay the smackdown on your candy ass. You smell what The Rock is cooking. Yeah, The Rock's cool. Shut up, dumbass.
Yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, canvas open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we winning it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
No sound. You got no sound. You got no sound. Well, you can't hear Russell Wayne. I hope you can hear me. I can't hear Russell Wayne. Maybe you can. Put it in the chat. Tell me if you can hear Russell Wayne. Tell me if you can hear me. Say something, Russ. No, I got nothing on my end. I got nothing on my end, but this is Lions Villain Report, 10 a.m., hosted by Russell Wayne.
Check 1, check 2.
There you go.
All right. I'm going to lose my drops, I guess. That's all right. All right. Well, welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mike. Mike is in the background right now playing Wizard of Oz right now, but I'm going to tell you where we are broadcasting. We are broadcasting live right now into our Facebook page, which we are, if we're not at 56,000, we're getting very close to 56,000. Thank you to everybody that's liking, sharing, commenting, and helping us get this out there to all the other football fans that are out there. We're on YouTube. YouTube right there at Lions Villain Squad. We are on Detroit Lions News Podcast along with the JC Sports Network right there. And we are brought to you by NFL Shop. You can use that QR code right there and save yourself up to 30% when you use our link right there. It's faith, family, and then football on this program. We prioritize it like that because we feel that that's important. We use football to spend time with our family. We use football to create memories. We don't let football use us. And then our STARS program. My wife is an advocate for autism awareness, and we have dedicated our STARS program to go and help her with her Facebook journey of sharing resources for parents who have children with special needs. And now here we are. This is the Lion Villain Report. Welcome to the program. And this right here is our Lock Pick Thursday edition. And I don't do the lock picks by myself. I do them with a partner of mine. And this is the Emmy nominated Main Event Mike. What's up, Main Event Mike?
Good morning, Russ. Good morning, Villains.
I wanted to be able to give you a you like that. I might have to change that out there. But what I wanted to do is start a little bit. I know that we got the lock picks coming in, but as you can see in the background right there is just something that we can't unsee, we can't untalk about because it's the biggest news that's out there. It's Aidan Hutchinson suffering a season-ending a broken leg in two different spots, clean break, good surgery and everything, but we're not going to have him for the rest of the season. And now everybody's out there with their trade machines and they're trying to go get the Lions to become better and find some way that we can replace the production of Aidan Hutchinson. And I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that idea right off the bat, since we haven't got a chance to do that yet.
Well, I don't think there's such a thing as replacing Aidan Hutchinson, right? You don't replace Tom Brady. You don't replace Patrick Mahomes. That's the kind of impact, that's the kind of player Aidan is for the Detroit Lions. But what you can do is mitigate the loss. You can bring someone else in or the guys on your team if they elevate their play. Now, they're going to have to pick up the slack, not just pressuring the quarterback. They're going to have to pick up the slack in leadership, in locker room presence, as well as intensity. If you listen to the press conference of the assistant coaches yesterday for the Detroit Lions, there was an overall theme when asked, of course, they were all asked about Aidan Hutchinson, what it means to the team. But the overall theme that went through it all was, he practices harder than anyone. He trains harder than anyone. He is uplifting in the locker room more than anyone. So all of those things, not just the production on the field, all of these Lions are going to have to raise their play to compensate for the loss of Aidan Hutchinson. Now, can the Lions bring in a free agent or a trade partner and bring in a player to really help mitigate that loss? That's what we're all waiting to see.
You like that? Yeah, I think that I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I heard the drop too.
And you heard the drop. See, well, that's what happens when Main Event Mike takes over for a minute and Russ can get underneath this computer and figure out some computer stuff. And that's exactly what I did right there. But I didn't hear any of your take, so I hope that but I did fix the problem. But I know that there is a thing that's out there with like my take. And before we get into that, like, I've never said that I would be mad if the Lions go out and trade for a player. I just said that it's not Brad Holmes' style to do that. But let's say hello to everybody before we get any further in here. Hey, what's up, Henry Gray? Lions family and villains right there. And David, what's up, David? We didn't even say, we're not even ready. Good morning or anything like that. He's just ready, right in with the tough questions. Who's ready for a big dog fight?
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Tick tock, tick tock. The anticipation is palpable. One pride all day, every day. Let's go, Lions. I do. Good morning to Dwayne. And I love Dwayne's takes right here where he's like, let's go. Detroit Lions, one pride, kings of the NFC North Division, championship title, all grit, never back down. Cue the karate. Oh, Davey. What's up, Davey? Thank you for joining us today. Good morning, one pride. Good morning to Fred Peterson. It's a great day to be a Lion fan. And if you are on the YouTube page or you're not on the YouTube page, we are at Lions Villain Squad, and you can do that. Never fear, Broski Bear is here. I love it. You know what I love the most about Broski is he was here when they were talking bad about the Bears. When, you know, they lost a couple games. Broski Bear was here, and he deserves to be here now. Congratulations on 4-2. Congratulations on Caleb Williams looking like the NFL defenses are starting to slow down a little bit for him. Good morning to David. Good morning to Mark. Good morning to Henry Gray. Good morning to Paul Jones. The Lions already played the Cowboys. Maybe your PTSD is gone now. Focus on the Vikings.
Get it right. It's PTSOL.
It's PTSOL. No, but I cut a good rock promo the other day, so I went and cut it out. I wanted to share it with y'all. And no audio. Okay, no audio for me. We're into that spot in the Zoe podcast. It's War Week. Let's get this thing going. We got Packer fan Steve up in the house. We got Jeff up in the house. Jeff Sanders, thank you for watching. Thank you, John. Just trying to make sure. What's up? I got Rob Scott in the house. John Alicia Shelton. The Lions still going to win on Sunday without Hutchinson. 30-24. We got predictions. This is prediction Thursday. Back for the second day in a row, but one pride, villains.
Yeah, get better, Jeremy. Sorry to hear about that.
What happened?
He says his back is out for the second day.
Back is out. Okay. Second day in a row. I can hear now. Okay, now we got everybody back in. We need to get a new studio up in here. I heard that.
You know what's really cool, Russ? We have Packer, Bears, and Viking fans in here in the chat this morning during War Week.
We are represented very, very well. And you know, I think it just goes to show right here, something that we were saying on Monday, and I'll just keep this slide. This is the best division in football. This is something that I've thought that could happen from the beginning of last year, even when I, told the Bear fans what was going to happen, that they were going to get rid of Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams. And they all told me that I was a hater last year. I'm just a Bears hater, Mike. And it turns out that it ended up being the best thing for you. And I'm glad that it seems to be working out. Congratulations to Bear fan, Viking fans. Got nothing but love for how you guys are doing it. I was trying to think of a promo that I wanted to do for the Viking fans, and I don't know how I really would want to approach that. Maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin. He would go down and party with all the Viking fans before he kicked their asses. That's what he would do. Go down there and be like, look, we're going to go down. I'm going to go to Minneapolis. What? We're going to have one beer. What? 2 beers. What? 3 beers. What? 4 beers. What? 5 beers. What? And a shot of tequila. What? And a Bloody Mary. What? And a shot of whiskey. What? Maybe get into a fight. What? That's how I feel that fight is. Sam Darnold. Can he get it done against Aaron Glenn? Can Aaron Glenn get it done without Aidan Hutchinson? He's got to be able to schematically do this. and put it in there. But I do want to get into the trade talks a little bit, but I think we got to get into the predictions because I rambled on too long, Mike. So if you want to take that over, let's get it. Let's set us up here. Let's go to the
All right. Week 7 in the NFL. We are going off of DraftKings. So if you want to follow along, want to get ahead, put it in the chat. We want to hear your predictions as well. Last week, Russell picked. Oh, we both got the Monday night game wrong, Russ. So you picked 8. I picked 7. So your streak against me continues. And that was out of 15 games. So this week, first game on the docket, Sean Payton returns to New Orleans. The Denver Broncos on the road are an actual favorite against the New Orleans Saints. What a topsy-turvy world we live in. Spencer Rattler going to start under center for the Saints as he starts to take his licks and become the quarterback of the future for the New Orleans Saints, as many on this show predicted. I am going to take the Saints plus 2.5 at home. We're going to kind of run through these a little quick today, folks, because we got a lot of other stuff we want to talk about. So main event, Mike, rolling with the Saints at home, taking the points.
Well, I am going to take the Denver Broncos. I will minus the points to give Sean Payton his revenge game and that good defense confusing the rookie quarterback.
Very cool. Jeremy B agrees with you. He says Denver. Mark says Denver as well. Dwayne also says Denver. Next game on the docket, the New England Patriots at the Jacksonville Jaguars minus 5.5. This one's a toughie. Jacksonville, this game is in London, by the way. Last week I took Jacksonville because they have a great record in London, and they lost the game, and now they got to suffer being in London again. I'm going to ride with Jacksonville again, even though I hate the 5.5 points. I just can't see Jacksonville losing this one.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Jacksonville. You look at it on paper, they should be better. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'll lay the 5.5. That's all right.
Wow. The next game on the docket is your Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings, 5-0 with Sam Darnold, Schwarzenegger under center. It's Detroit at Minnesota minus 1.5. How do you like your chances this week, Darnold?
I don't think that the Detroit Lions defense is going to be able to do anything. Look at my arms. Look at my playmakers. I'm going to dominate the Detroit Lions defense.
Thank you, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've rolled with the Lions the last 2 weeks as my lock pick. And they have not let me down. I realized the loss of Aidan Hutchinson, and the Vikings are a good team. Brian Flores, all of that. I just can't see this Detroit Lions team losing this game. I'm going to go ahead and get 1.5 points and take the Lions.
Yeah, give me the Lions and the point and the 1.5. Thank you.
Against this explosive offense, you're going to give me 1.5. I don't care who we're playing. I'm taking the Lions at the way this team is rolling right now. Maybe the loss of Hutchinson will propel this team the way it propelled the Wolverines by losing Zach Zinter in the national championship. Moving on. Well, let's take a look. Everybody picking the Lions, of course, except Zoe. Zoe says Vikings by 10. Jay Smooth says Lions. He's a Packer fan. He says Lions. What's that?
I love the confidence.
Right. All right. Next game on the docket. The Houston Texans travel to Lambeau Field at Green Bay minus 3. So this means the Houston Texans are getting 3 points. Yeah, they're a pretty strong team. I know Green Bay's tough at home. I'm going to go ahead and take Houston. I think Houston wins this game outright.
Yeah, I'm going to take Houston too. I've been a Packer hater, and really I've probably been losing this pick every week because I'm such a homer against the team. So, but I mean, having Houston and getting 3, that's a really good Houston team. So even if Green Bay wins a close one, I still feel like I can win this pick.
Right. If this comes down to a 1, I mean, those 3 points are what cinches it for me. If it was a 1 point, sure, I'd probably take Green Bay on this. Dwayne says Texans. Paul says Texans. Even Zoe says Texans. We got Dale there and says Green Bay. David thinks Green Bay. Jay says go Pack go. So the villains kind of split right down the middle on this one, Russ. Next game, Tennessee at Buffalo. Look, man, I keep betting against Josh Allen. I keep betting against this guy, and he just keeps burning me. He's the real deal, folks. I mean, and now they get Amari Cooper. The only problem is that 9.5 points. Ugh. I'm going to take Tennessee here. The reason is because guess what? Tennessee Titans have the #1 overall defense in the NFL right now, even though they can't get into the win column. I think 9.5 is too much against that good secondary. Amari Cooper not going to be much of a factor probably in his first game with the Bills. So I got Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, if this was Alabama versus Missouri, I might take the 9.5. You know, I might say they could cover that 9.5. But no, I mean, this is the NFL. You give me 9.5 points in just about any team.
So you're taking the Tennessee Titans as well.
The Titans and the points.
We got a lot of people saying the Bills here. We got Jeff says the Bills. Dwayne says the Bills. Zoe says Bills by 19 points. Holy cow.
Okay.
All right. Next game. In division, Cincinnati at Cleveland. At the beginning of the year, we looked at this game and thought, oh, it's going to be a real dogfight. Well, now it's a dogfight for the basement in the AFC North. The 2-4 Bengals are -6 on the road against Cleveland. How do you bet on Cleveland? Gosh, Russ, I'm going to let you take this one first. This is like the worst game to pick right here.
Well, the thing is I've tried to bet Cleveland, you know, and I keep getting burnt on them. And it makes me want to just go back and change my my Bills pick just because they've burnt me a lot too by, you know, somebody laying some points, and they usually cover those big point spreads. But give me the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll lay the 6. I'm sick of the Browns.
I'm also going to take the Bengals. You know why? Because the first 6 weeks are in the book, and the Bengals are slow starting. I think now is the time for the Bengals to start picking it up if they want to be competitive in this division. They did win last week and avoid the 1-5 stigma. In case you're wondering, teams that are 1-5 in the last 10 years, 123 teams have started 1-5. Russ, guess how many of those teams made the playoffs out of 123?
I have no idea.
That's why it's called a guess. Guess how many out of 123?
10.
3. 3 teams out of 123 have made the playoffs that start 1-5, and Cincinnati avoided that. For that reason, sounds ridiculous. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals here. Both of us are laying the 6.
Thing on this thing, it's a hope. This is a hope bet too, because if the Cincinnati can come in and just beat that ass, maybe Cleveland will be a little more soft to, you know, let us trade for Myles Garrett.
Or Zadarius Smith. Absolutely. That's a great call, Ross. If they start 1-6, if they start 1-6, they are going to definitely be sellers at the trade deadline in a couple of weeks. And every loss that Cleveland can accumulate is just going to help the chances of the Lions snatching one of those defensive ends off their team. So I like it. Mostly in the chat, it's people taking the Bengals. Carolyn says Bengals. David says Browns. So I like it. Okay, moving on. In division, Philadelphia at the New York Giants +3. Tough one. I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles just because at some point the roster, the depth that they have is going to have to show up at some point. Maybe this is the week that Philadelphia can right the ship. They get Devontae Smith back. They get A.J. Brown back. They've been playing like crap. Their coach was berating his own fans at the last game. This whole thing is starting to unravel. So if they lose to the Giants, this could be the tipping point that sends this team down the downward spiral. But I think they're going to try to pull this one out, and they're going to cover the 3. I got the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat right there. I think that people just really underestimated the loss of A.J. Brown, and just having him back in this offense is going to make a huge difference. That's not enough. That's not enough points right there. Give me the Eagles. I'll lay the 3 easy.
All right. We are agreeing a lot. We're kind of split down the middle here in the chat. We got Eagles, Giants. Jay Smooth says Giants. Dale in the house. What's up, Dale? He says Eagles. So remember, folks, that's 3 points too in a division game. So Giants at home getting 3. That's not a bad bet. If the Eagles win this on a field goal for a 1-point win at the end, you win your bet. So I'm going to roll with the Eagles because just based on the talent that's on the roster. Next, it's a battle of the birds. Seattle Seahawks at Atlanta. Wow, what a game this is going to be. I don't know who's going to win this game, but I'm definitely going to bet the over. Over 51. Seahawks are getting 3 on the road. Atlanta is one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Kirk Cousins coming off a 500-yard performance. Going to be tough to beat Atlanta, but I like getting 3 points. I think Seattle's a good enough team. I'm going to take the Seahawks.
All right. Now we get to disagree right here. These Atlanta Falcons are for real, and they are starting to separate themselves from the pack, where you got a bunch of middle teams, and then there's a couple of elite teams that you can just tell that they're about ready to do it. I think Atlanta is one of those teams. Give me Atlanta at home. I'll lay the 3.
All right, nice. Next, Miami at Indianapolis, -3. So the Colts favored by 3 against the quarterbackless Miami Dolphins. This one's so tough to pick. I hate those 3 points. This is really just a pick 'em. It's those points that kill me. I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins because of the 3 points, and that's it.
Yeah,
I'd rather have points in this game than be laying them with these 2 crappy teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
And before you make your decision, you should know that Anthony Richardson has been practicing. He might play on Sunday. If not, it's Joe Flacco who's still lighting it up at 68 years old.
Yeah, I mean, Colts at home. The Flacco magic is alive and well, and Miami is still a dumpster fire. I mean, what the hell is their coach wearing? I mean, is he trying to get in the hottest trends? He's go out hanging out with Tyreek Hill out in the clubs.
Hey,
That whole Miami culture has changed. What's his name? I can't even think of his name.
Tua.
The coach for Miami.
Oh, Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel. That whole Miami culture has completely changed who he is as a person. It's never a good thing.
Have you ever been to South Beach? It'll change you.
It'll change you. So give me the Colts. Give me Flacco. Flacco, 65 years old. He's going to get Social Security and NFL money at the same time.
You can't spell Joe Flacco without AARP. Well, you actually can. Jeremy says, hi, I'm Joe Flacco for Viagra. Joe Flaccid. Nice.
He even said, he was like, man, I could be most of these guys' dad that's on this team. It's like they.
Yeah, he said Anthony Richardson's mother is only 8 months older than him. That's a true story. So you're taking Indy, right?
Yeah, I'll take Indy. I'll lay the points.
All right. Next, the most surprising team in the league against the least surprising team in the league. Nobody is surprised that the Carolina Panthers stink, but everyone is surprised that Jaden Daniels is the real deal, and these Washington Commanders are playing above their head. They're laying 8 points. They are at home. I'm going to go ahead and take Washington for the first time this year because I bet against them all year, and all year they put me in the loss column. Even when they win, they put me in the loss column. Even when they lose, they still cover the points and put me in the loss column like last week. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Washington Commanders because Carolina just stinks that bad.
And you're right about that. And I've been riding with the Commanders a lot this year, and I'm going to continue to do it because this is the type of team that ain't afraid to just put it on you. And they'll put it on you so bad so they can take Jaden Daniels out in the fourth quarter and give the backup some, because they want to put it on you, and they're going to put it on this team. Jaden Daniels is going to have another one of those magic days as a rookie quarterback, and they're going to blow him out. Give me Washington. I'll lay the 8.
All right. Well, I can see like 12 comments here from the villains, and they all say Washington. Dale, who's stuck in 1995, says the Redskins. So there you go. It's unanimous. Carolina just needs to keep it close, though. 8 points is a pretty good spread. Next, Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Rams. Raiders come back to their old stadium. Well, I don't think they ever played in SoFi, but still, there's a lot of Raider fans in Los Angeles. 6.5's too many. I realize Aidan O'Connell's under center, and they lost Devontae Adams. But you know what? Devontae Adams wasn't playing anyway. His hamstring has miraculously healed now that he is out of Las Vegas. But I'm taking the Raiders here. I like the 6.5 points, and I don't think the Rams are that doggone good. Cooper Kupp did practice. He may return. I don't think he'll be a factor, though. I'm taking the Raiders.
Man, yeah, you and I are starting to think alike. I don't know if it's because we spend so much time with each other, but I was feeling the same way. The Rams don't have any fans, and unless it's trendy. I mean, if it's trendy, then superstars come. Oh, well, it's good for my portfolio to be out and be seen at Rams games. That's what their fan base is like. There's more Raider fans that are going to be in LA than there are LA Ram fans, and it's going to be like a home game for it. And poor Matt Stafford in this situation. He's got to deal with all the injuries and nobody being there, no offensive linemen, and that's too many points. The Rams might even win the game, and that's just too many points.
So you're taking the Raiders?
Raiders and the points.
Wow. If you look in the chat, all the villains are running Rams. Wow. We got Dwayne who agrees with us, who says Raiders. Nice. You're watching the Villain Report with Russell Wayne, brought to you by NFL Shop. You can scan that QR code that's on your screen there and save 30% when you leverage the power of the Villain Shop. NFL Shop, the Villain Squad Network, is an official marketing partner of NFL Shop. And we got some super villains too. We're going to promote Stephen Michael Menina, who's an incredible photographer and Lions fan. He's one of our super villains. You can scan that QR code. Also, Elise Memes, the queen of memes. You can scan that code and go to her page. A lot of great super villains helping us out. And there's that QR code again for NFL Shop. Back to the prediction.
Sorry about that. Hey, and let me change mine. I'm going to, just so I can pick against you, and I'm going to make, this is going to be a rooting pick right here, because if there's any hope for Max Crosby becoming a Detroit Lion, it has to come with an LA Rams beatdown.
You're switching your pick to the Rams?
I'm going to switch my pick to the Rams just because I feel I might lose this just because of the points, but I just feel like if the Rams beat down the Raiders, and Max Crosby has a better chance of becoming a Lion.
Wow, betting with your heart. Okay,
I'm betting with my heart, man. It served me four wins 2 weeks ago. That was great.
Right. Next game is one of the most anticipated games of the season. When the schedules came out in May, this is one we all circled. It's a repeat performance of last year's Super Bowl. Chiefs and Niners. They're playing in San Francisco, and that's why the San Francisco 49ers are a 1.5 point favorite against the Kansas City Chiefs. This one's so hard to pick, Russ. I'm going to make you go first.
Oh, this is going to be a San Francisco blowout. San Francisco's going to fucking put it on. I'm sorry for dropping the F-bomb right there. This is the classic regular season. Patrick Mahomes fails because, there they were, 5-0. Everything's riding high. San Francisco needs this game. They're going to go in. They're going to punk them. Give me San Francisco. I'll lay the 1.5.
Wow. The undefeated Chiefs, the two-time defending Super Bowl champions, going in, getting a 1.5. They're healthy, by the way, all the way around the board. The Chiefs are healthy, and you're still picking against them.
There's just something about it. Because it don't matter, because if you face them in the Super Bowl, I'm taking the Chiefs. This isn't the Super Bowl. This is week a game that doesn't matter, a game that everybody will get real excited about. Oh my God, I can't believe the 49ers blew out the Chiefs. And in 2 weeks it won't matter because Patrick Mahomes will still be Patrick Mahomes and they'll still be flying high. It'll be a blip on the radar for them. But San Francisco needs this game. They need this win.
Well, and I'm glad I let you go first because you just talked me into it. I'm gonna ride with you with the Niners for just what you said. You know what? The Chiefs are undefeated, but after this weekend, if we're right on both our predictions, there'll be no undefeated teams in the NFL this week. They got to lose eventually, right? At some point, they're not the 72 Dolphins. We don't think they're going to go run the table and be undefeated all year. They got to lose a game. Why not on the road in San Francisco against a team, like you said, that needs this game to outpace the Seahawks in their own division? So there you go. Russ and I both running with the Niners. Jay agrees with us. So does Dwayne and Carolyn. But Paul Jones, supervillain himself, Paul Jones says Chiefs. Dale says Chiefs. There you go. So
it's understandable. I don't mind. Yeah, you want to pick Chiefs. That's a good bet, you know.
Mm-hmm. And Ken, I love Ken's always got a great take. Nobody will touch the Miami Dolphins' perfect season, not yet, anyway. There doesn't seem to be a team that looks so dominant that you can't see them losing a game. Even this Kansas City Chiefs team, I don't think has reached that status yet. Next, New York Jets with their brand new receiver, Davante Adams, at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is really a strange one for me. Pittsburgh at home. The Jets haven't looked good, can't even score 24 points a game. Pittsburgh has a really good defense. So tell me, why are the Steelers getting 2.5 points at home? Explain that one to me. I don't know. Is it because of Davante Adams? Because the prognosticators believe that that's going to make such a huge difference with not much practice time? No, I'm sorry. I'm taking the Steelers here. I'm not going to fall for this one. I got burned by the Jets 2 weeks in a row. I'm taking the Steelers this week. I do believe Aaron Jones has fallen off. He has lost a step ever since Kirby Joseph ripped out his soul a couple of years ago. He hasn't been the same. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Oh gosh, I don't like those the way the points are set up either. Because I'm looking at this and it's like, why would I? If it was the Jets getting 2 at home, I would consider taking the Jets. Like I would if they were getting 2.5. Playing on the road, but they're not. Pittsburgh's getting the 2.5, so this is easy. Give me Pittsburgh and the points.
There you go. Good call out by Jeremy B in the comments that Russell Wilson will be starting this game. After going 3-0, they yanked Justin Fields now and put in Russell Wilson to start against the Jets. What a great defense the Jets do have. That's going to make it real hard for them. The Steelers finally are able to run the ball now. They're actually getting some Najee Harris fantasy points on my team for me.
Wow. That ends this week.
But for me, it's the 2.5. It's the 2.5 points at home. The terrible towels are going to be out. And I just don't think the Jets are in a position to blow out a good defense at this point. Maybe later in the season, they can get it clicking.
Pittsburgh's going to win the game. I mean, that's the way I feel. I mean,
okay. I like it. Next, 2 games on Monday night this week. Baltimore at Tampa. Plus 3.5. I'm taking the Ravens here. I think the Bucks are been playing over their head. I don't think they're as good as other people think they are. And just because they beat the Lions, it makes me mad. So otherwise the Lions would be undefeated if they hadn't gone 1 for 7 in the red zone. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens here. I feel like they're getting things clicking. They beat a good team last week in the Washington Commanders, even though it was a closer game than many thought it would be. I think they go down to Tampa and get it done. Look, the Ravens lost 2 games at the beginning of the year. I don't think they're going to lose many more throughout this regular season, maybe 4 wins total. And Tampa is not the team to hand them a loss. Will they cover the 3.5 is the real question. I'm not sure, but I'm sure Baltimore's going to win this game. So I'm riding with the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Baltimore's going to win the game, but I have this like PTSD over like losing by a 0.5 point. Like I'm like a 0.5 point away from like probably having 13 picks from last week. Like a lot of those were just really, really close. And this one feels like one of those things where I'm going to take the Ravens in the 3.5 minus 3.5, and then they're going to go down with game tied, and Tucker's going to do what Tucker does, and they're going to win by 3, and I'm going to lose this.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, give me Baltimore. Give me I'll lay 3.5.
Right. Justin Tucker in Tampa with a 60-yard field goal to win the game, and you lose by a half a point. Yep. Right. I can see that all day. Last game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's just they're that type of team too. See, where Tampa Bay gets underestimated is it's the fact that they have the not exciting quarterback of Baker Mayfield, and Baltimore's got Lamar Jackson. They both have really good defenses. Let's not mince any words here. Tampa Bay can play defense, and they will play defense. They will box up Lamar Jackson in that. It's going to be close. You know what? I'm changing it. Give me the Bucks at home and the 3.5. Damn it. You're not
getting it this time. Russ, I'm going to have to switch. I'm going to have to switch to pencil.
I'm sorry.
I got so many scribbles here.
Out of it. I'm sitting here telling myself why I'm going to lose the pick, because it's going to be a close game and Tucker's going to come down and, hit a game winner, whether it's a 1-point loss or if it's tied or whatever. It's still less than 3.5.
There you go. I'm taking the Ravens, and Russ has talked himself out of taking the Ravens, and he's taking the Buccaneers. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 games so far. Excuse me. 4, 5, 6. 6 games so far that we have picked against each other. So it's going to be very interesting this week. Last game on the docket. Los Angeles Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals. Man, I'm sick of riding with the Cardinals and having them burn me. They looked terrible against Green Bay. They should have been more competitive against Green Bay last week. I'm sorry. Chargers are on the road. 2.5 isn't enough. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, the Arizona is not looking good. It's looking. I mean, they're saying that Kyler Murray's logging hours on Modern Warfare or whatever game it is that he plays. Call of Duty. It's like, come on, man. You need to get focused. You need to get focused. These are the best athletes in the world. You may have all the talent in the world, but stop it. Stop it. LA Chargers, give me the good coaching. Give me the Harbaugh with I'm gonna bite a kneecap
We're
off.
Gonna bite a kneecap off
Mentality. Give me the Chargers. I'll lay the 2.5.
You know what? I'm actually going to reverse my pick on this one. I'm going to take Arizona and get burned by them again, maybe. But they're at home. They're getting 2.5. The Chargers aren't a juggernaut, okay? They're not. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a beast. And him and Kyler Murray need to come alive. This might be the game. That weak Chargers secondary might be the remedy that these Cardinals need to get off the schneid. The Cardinals want to be competitive. Jonathan Gannon's a good coach. I'm going to switch my pick, and I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals plus 2.5. Time now for our lock picks. These are our lock predictions. Right now for the season, Russell Wayne is 3-3 on his lock picks. I am 4-2 on our lock picks. And Russ, I'm going to make you go first this week. Give me your lock pick for this week as you scroll through. Actually, I got mine ready. If you're not ready yet, I'll go ahead with mine.
Yet.
All right, I'll go ahead with mine then. My lock pick this week is, and you guys are going to be really surprised by this, I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders at the Los Angeles Rams. Why? Because 6.5 points, and that stadium's going to be mostly Raider fans. So I like it. If this game was in Las Vegas, the spread would be 3.5. But because it's in LA, it's 6.5. And I don't think the handicappers are taking into account how wishy-washy those LA fans are. I'm taking the Raiders as my lock pick. Look at you. Look at the game you've got up there. My goodness.
Yep. Give me the San Francisco 49ers as my lock pick.
Wow. Russell Wayne picking the Niners in the Super Bowl rematch. I love it. I love it.
I thought of it, Mike. I thought of, for my lock pick, of going with our own game.
Yeah.
I thought about it because I really do believe that the Lions are going to win that game and bring the Vikings back down to earth. Or I'm going to be here on Monday eating some crow going, man, this I got to throw my hands up in the air about these Minnesota Vikings. But They haven't played with anybody that has came in and punched them in the mouth. They don't play from behind. They jumped out to these leads, and they've been able to sustain these leads. And I think that that's their brand of football. But what the Lions do coaching staff wise is they take you out of your brand of football. They are going to force Sam Darnold to beat them. It has to be Sam Darnold to beat them. And they are also going to have to stop our running attack. And I'm sorry, but you ain't seen a running attack like this yet, Minnesota Viking fan. You may think you have, but you haven't. You didn't face McCaffrey. You faced Akers. Like, you ain't faced a 1-2 punch like this, even if you face some good running backs. Like,
right.
So you have to stop the run to have a chance, because if you can't, Jared Goff's going to pick you apart all day.
Paul says whoever's playing the Panthers is my lock pick. Well, that'd be the Commanders -8. I do like that as a lock pick, actually. That's a great call out. David says all the games this week are tough to pick, especially when you figure in the points. A lot of people thinking that the Lions are the lock pick. Ken, Henry, I've ran with the Lions the last 2 weeks and won. They have been my lock pick. But this is a divisional game, folks. So I'm staying away from it. I don't want to go to the well too many times, but I do love the call out. Fred says lock pick Jets. Woo! That Aaron Rodgers is less washed than Russell Wilson. What a good call out. Plus the GM, head coach, offensive coordinator now, so they will have his game get right. Good call.
And this is the reason why you can't go against the Vikings right there, is because you got to give them their due. They've been playing out of this world, and it ain't luck. And it's not like they've been playing over their head or anything. It looks like they got the personnel that fits that Brian Flores style, and they have a version of what they had last year that was doing well with upgraded dudes in those spots. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, Sam Darnold, who knows? He might be as good as Kirk Cousins. Because, I mean, he got put into a good situation, finally, for one time in his life. You know what Sam Darnold definitely can do is he can throw the ball downfield. That dude has got a rocket. He can throw that ball 60 yards in the air. And you got Justin Jefferson. So there, all bets are off when it comes to, like, there's no way I could make that my lock pick. You know, I just have that feeling that besides that other spot, this defense, the style that play, you just have to be disciplined. And my offense is very disciplined. Like, in order to beat a defense like the Minnesota Vikings, you have to have discipline all across your offensive line, your skill players. You have to be able to make split decisions because of the way that they blitz. I'm going to send 6, or I'm going to put 6 in the coverage. Like, who knows? I'm going to show you both every play. And you have to be able to make a decision on who to block and be able to read a defense and play disciplined in order to do well against a defense like that. And I think the Lions have that. I think they'll be able to gap run. I think they should be able to run the football against this team, even though they've been good against the run. But you ain't been good against a run offense like our run offense. We're run offense first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's some really good comments here from some of the villains. Jeremy B says Aaron Jones is out with a hamstring. Blake Cashman for the Vikings is out with turf toe. Plus a couple of DBs are out. Minnesota is more banged up than they want to admit. That's a great call out. And then Scotty Reno, I really like this one. Here's something to think about. No one knows what Detroit defense will even look like this week. The Vikings have been preparing for a defense that will look totally different. Right now that Hutch isn't there, they're going to have to manufacture a pass rush different ways. And this is something that there isn't any tape on right now. So that's such a great call out, Scotty, that, this could be a curveball thrown at Kevin O'Connell this week with the way that Aaron Glenn is going to have to mix things up on defense. So that's such a great call out.
And there was something else that was being said that was out there. And this is something that the coaching staff had made. I've heard Jared Goff make comments like this. It's not going to be a person that is going to replace that production, because you can't. There's not one person that's out there that's going to be able to replace Hutchinson's production. It's going to come from a multitude of spots. It's going to come with the other good players on your team doing more, right? You just signed Aleem McNeil. Well, they're probably going to try to scheme pressure from the middle, because that's where our talent is now, right? And then from the back end, Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph are your most talented players. You'll gear the defense to put those guys in position to carry more of the load. Maybe you put more on the linebackers, where you're rushing with that 3-4 mentality, where you're rotating in these big defensive linemen in the middle, and then you're using more linebackers. I don't know what they're going to do. We may be running a 3-4 defense when we come out there on Sunday, Mike. We don't know. Yep. What is life without Hutchinson? We have no idea.
Aaron Glenn has said many times he's 100% confident in the linebacker room. He likes what we have there. Now we bring in Trevor Nowaski, who did have a sack last week. Good call here by Jeremy B. Says he wants to see Nowaski at the strong side linebacker in place of Derek Barnes. They had a great half of football. So, I mean, this is what we're going to have to do to mitigate the loss of Hutch if we can't get somebody in there. So, yeah, it's a good call out.
Right. And then now that we have a little bit of time here, and we may even go over a little bit, I know I will a little bit if you guys want to talk about it, but trading for pass rushers for the Lions, like, it's not, I am not against this. First of all, I got called the P word in a back chat for just because I call this the way that I see it. Brad Holmes hasn't shown us any evidence that he's going to go out and make a big move. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Going into his 4th draft here, you just haven't seen it. Every trade deadline comes and goes for the Lions, and there's no big moves that are made.
He got called a P word, folks, and he doesn't mean Packer fan.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
It's another way to call a cat a kitten. It's 5 little letters that you're missing here.
So I came on here on Tuesday, and I had said this right here, Campbell, on replacing Hutchinson. I believe that the guys that are here now, he did say that, and I ran with it from the point of him just saying that we're not going to go out and get anybody, right? Well, he doubled back off of that comment yesterday during his comments, and actually went as far as to say that they're reaching out. And then the reports came out. They've reached out to the Jets for Hassan Reddick, trying to figure out what it costs. And I gave you my opinion on that too. I know that he wants a new contract. I know that the Jets want a 3rd round pick, maybe even a 2nd round pick. But Brad Holmes, I mean, look at this guy. Does he look like a guy that's just going to be like, yeah, we're just not going to do that. Okay. So let me tell you how it's going to work if we're going to do this. We're going to give you we don't have a 3rd round pick for next year. So we'll give you a 4. We'll give you James Houston. We'll give you and by the way, Hassan, I know that you say you want a contract extension. Yeah, we're not going to do that either. But we'll give you a chance to win a Super Bowl if you want to come here and play. What do you say? Because he's seeking his own trade, and it's going to be like that, or Hassan Reddick isn't coming here. We're not going to sell the farm. They just paid Aleem McNeil. And if they do sell the farm, it's going to be for Myles Garrett. It's going to be for a guy that can come in and actually replace Hutchinson's production. And honestly, there's probably only 2 guys that you could even think of that you could get that could be there. And I believe there's only one, because I think Max Crosby's a lateral. I believe he is Hutchinson. Like it's the guy, you're getting the same guy, effort and, relentlessness, and you're going to get about the same production. Myles Garrett, that might be the only upgrade that I think that the Lions could make And you can argue with me about the semantics of that, but as far as being a freak of nature, that sort's a guy that, you know, Jordan Love would try to outrun to the outside and wouldn't be able to because Myles Garrett is a freaking nature. He might be able to outrun Hutch, but he ain't going to be able to outrun Myles Garrett. Like, that's the only upgrade that I think that we could make that would even be available. Right? So, what do you think out there? Who's the guy? What is it going to cost? And that's the other thing. What is the cost?
I love this call by Carolyn here. Why would the Lions trade the bank before seeing how this new defense works against the Vikings? And that's something we talked about yesterday. Such a good call out, Carolyn. Thank you. There was something that we talked about yesterday is Brad Holmes isn't going to make a knee-jerk reaction to this. If something gets done, it's not getting done by Sunday. Okay. They're going to see how this goes. And if this defense is dominant against Darnold and the Vikings, they aren't going to be so quick to pull the trigger on this. If they strongly believe in their guys. It's not just, lip service. It's not just hyperbole. They do believe in these guys. Agude, Ukwu, they believe in these guys. And they're Lions. They're cut from the same cloth as the Lions, and they are going to wait and see what happens. I love this call from Fred. The Vikings defense is also a front, meaning when they show 6, it's they're trying to fool you, right? It's to mess with the QB's head. Goff is too smart for that. Go ahead and rush 6. Our O-line is good enough to pick them up. Such a good call out. If you watched any of the press conferences yesterday, the passing coordinator, his name escapes me, but he's the passing game coordinator, and he was on the podium. And he was asked something about this, and he made such a great comment. He says, more than any team, the Minnesota Vikings will show you that shell defense with the too high safety look. But this is just fool's gold. They are showing you this to trap you, to get you into what they want to do. And like Ken says, Lions are too smart for that. Goff is not going to be fooled by that. They're bringing pressure from odd angles and everything. Brian Flores is making up for the fact that he doesn't have a lot of talent on that roster. Let's face it, he's got some good players, but from top to bottom, there are a lot of weaknesses on that defense. And I think Ben Johnson is going to be able to exploit that. So it's such a good call. Now, as far as who we're going to get as a rusher, I like some of these names that Jeremy B's throwing out here. Azeez Ojulari, Bryce Huff, Zadarius Smith on the other side of Myles Garrett in Cleveland could definitely be a cheaper option. And by the way, Zadarius Smith, notoriously a Lions killer when he played for the Minnesota Vikings. So it would be very interesting to see him in a Lions uniform. Yeah. What about Trayvon Walker? I just don't see that. He's a number 1 overall pick. If we did bring him in, it would be on a 1-year deal, and we'd have to cut him loose because we're not going to be able to pay that guy at the end of the season. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the Jags are going to part with him as well.
Bring that list back up that Jeremy had. I love that because this is more realistic, because anytime a bad thing happens, immediately the best players come up. Like, oh, we should I hear stuff like this. If the Lions don't go get Max Crosby, then they hate the fans. It's like, stop with the ultimatums with the team, because even these guys, Bryce Huff and Zadarius Smith, and what about Trayvon Walker? Like, these guys you have to trade for. These guys aren't available. It's like people act like you can just walk down to the dollar store and then, let's go see how much Max Crosby costs. No, they're not going to just give up the cornerstone to what their rebuild would be just so we can have a Super Bowl run. They don't care about our team. They're going to try to maximize the value out of this. Now, somebody like Zadarius Smith, I think that the Lions could get him for a 5th or 6th round pick, because they're trying to, that team is a dumpster fire. They're trying to get out of contracts right now. They thought they were going to be better. They spent a bunch of money and they're trying to, back out on their bet. And that's a team that you can take advantage of, and if not Zadarius, go after the big dog, man. Like, if you can get Myles Garrett on this team, go ahead and pay 2 1s. Next year and the year after that, pay it. I mean, really, you're giving yourself a window for 2 Super Bowls then. Myles Garrett's signed for 2 years. By the way, Aidan Hutchinson's injury is a 1-year injury. You know what that would mean? That would mean that Aidan Hutchinson and Myles Garrett would be your guys next year with Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader. Go, if you want to go out and you want to spend and say F them picks and be okay with that. By the way, his contract's up when the other ones hit in 2026. You wouldn't have to pay Myles Garrett that year. You don't have to worry about the whole cap thing. If you want to go all in.
Jeremy saying that the Trayvon Walker thing is not just a pipe dream. That this is his 3rd year, so he has 2 years left. So it would be 1 year left with a 5th-year option.
Yep.
Rumor is he hasn't lived up to his 1st-round pick. Really? He's got 5 sacks in 6 games this year. What's wrong with that? He's finally starting to come on. They'll want a day 2 and day 3 pick in compensation, according to Big Cat Country. Fine. A day 2 and a day 3 pick for Trayvon Walker? I'll take that all day. I don't see it happening. The Jaguars this guy's finally starting to come around. Some people are late bloomers, slow starters, and he's finally starting to come around. Their team stinks. Why would you get rid of one of the best young pieces that you have? I just don't see it happening. Maybe it will. I've been wrong many, many, many times.
It's like, to me, the only one that makes any sense to me at this point would be one of the Browns players, because they're in that. I mean, they're backpedaling right now. They got to figure out a way out of that Deshaun Watson deal. They gotta pull all the water out of the boat because they're sinking. They're sinking quick. Now, Max Crosby, they're still in that tweener spot. If they win a game or two, they could be right back in that 500 mix and getting better and all that stuff. You got a rookie, Aidan O'Connell's not a rookie, but a younger quarterback that you're trying to get out there. If you can get some momentum there, you're not out of the woods yet, even though it seems grim for them, and it might end up being grim. It's not as grim as the Cleveland Browns. And I really think that Zadarius Smith, I have a feeling that's going to be the move, because it's not too much and it upgrades. It definitely helps the room to have another guy in there like that. And it's not a super move. It's not like the move that's going to go, oh my God, they're in the Super Bowl now, Mike. No, I mean, it's a move that keeps the boat afloat. It probably satisfies most of the fans. That'd be like, okay, that's not nobody.
Right.
Trayvon Walker, that's a weird thing for me. That's a weird thing because he is unproven. He's had a good beginning of the year, but like, we're trying to win the Super Bowl. And it's like, I don't want to give day 2, day 3 pick up for day 2 picks up for a
project.
Maybe that, yeah, it's probably going to work. Looking okay now, but you already have to make a decision in, 8 months. You're going to have to figure out if you're going to pick up that 5th-year option. That's always a decision. And it's like, you already got a guy in here. Rentals seem more like a Brad Holm thing. Like, it's not going to go past 2026 with, really worrying about extending said player that they're going to bring in. Zadarius Smith, you ain't going to extend him. That's a rental, right? Myles Garrett, I mean, I doubt that. Maybe you extend him just to have 2 generational talents, figure out a way to make it work. But no, you take him at the contract that he is, rent him for the Super Bowl. When Hutchinson comes back, you draft a couple guys,
I will say this, Russ. My gut tells me they're going to do something. Brad is going to do something. I think there is a splash move coming. A lot of the Brad Holmes detractors, bargain bin Brad, dollar store Brad, he's never going to make this big move. I feel it in my gut that there's something on the horizon. Brad is working his magic right now. And I believe that there will be a bigger name coming in. Maybe it is like a Trayvon Walker or a Myles Garrett or something like that. I don't see Max Crosby. I don't see anybody ever letting go of him. But yeah, I just feel like something is coming. I got to jump off here, Russ. So have a great day, and God bless you, villains.
Right on. That's Main Event Mike right there. You can join him on Monday nights at 7 p.m. And he recaps the weekend. Those are our biggest shows on Monday night, the Monday morning shows, because of what we're doing. But we're talking about, I know it's 11:07 right now, but this is such a good conversation. It's not I don't know. You're giving me too much credit. This is not a great show. This is great content. When you got something like this going on, I know it's a tragedy, but the thoughts of what we can do to fix this, are all over the place, right? Who knows who could come in here and fix this? It's like, or doesn't need to be fixed. It's like, I know all the rival fans say that we ain't got nobody, but we know that not to be true. We know that we have depth at linebacker. We know we have a very good back end with Kirby and Branch. We have defensive pieces that have been good, that are still here. We just re-signed Aleem McNeil, and Aleem McNeil, had 2 sacks on Sunday. He was a force, and he wasn't going against nobodies. The defense was going against their starting offense. Zach Martin is not a nobody, and Aleem McNeil toyed with him that whole game. He was dominating. Aleem McNeil's coming into his own. He earned his contract. And that's part of the reason why they say they believe in their own guys. It's not me being a homer or a P word. It's just me understanding the pulse of who we have as a general manager. Honestly, I've learned to have my opinion to be in trusting what these guys are going to do. But the one thing they're not going to do is they're not going to overreact and go out and just trade to trade. Yeah. And here you go. A 3rd round pick. And I'm even going to try to say Aziz from the Giants. That's fine. A day 2 pick. I get that. It's obviously going to have to be a later one. Or a 4th round pick for him. A 3rd, 4th round pick, 5th round pick. I could see them. They can throw out multiples. You could trade. I don't know how much value James Houston has, but as just a pass rusher, he has value. But we use our defensive ends different. We don't have a use for a guy that only rushes the passer. We have guys that you need to be able to do multiples here, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have value, right? Throw him one back, throw him a young guy back. After seeing Crosby yell and push his coach, I don't think he fits the culture of the Lions. I can't see MCDC tolerating that. Crosby would be on his backside, and who knows, the rest of the team would react too. Dan is too tough to push around. I believe that. But I don't think that he would do that here because of the culture. It's frustrating being on a team that you can tell isn't ran right. A lot of Lions players left this organization. Look at what the way that Darius Slay said things about the Lions after he had left. It's like, if that culture isn't good, that's the type of stuff you get everywhere. But I get that. I get that. I'm one of the people that think that they don't have to go out and do anything drastic. If the right deal comes up. And Max Crosby is an effort dude. When it comes to play style, he's a lot like Hutchinson. Raiders, in my opinion, should sell young quarterback, young talent around him right now. They can't compete with the Chiefs, Bills, and the Texans. Yeah, they're in a bad spot right now. I'm sorry. I love the idea of having two off seasons to decide with Walker. Imagine having a first, second, 12th round picks from that first round on the same roster. I love the idea of it. I'm just saying the psychology, Jeremy, of what we're doing right now is like, if you're going to trade and you're going to trade high picks for it, that you would have the proven guy, and I'm not saying he might come here and kill it, because he is a freak of nature. I agree, Mike. I think that it'll be a bigger name, but it won't be a deal like Flowers. Our management is far better and smarter than the last dumpster fire. And that's true. That is true, Fred. I think that Holmes will make a move. He's cooking something up. I know that he's looking. And I do believe that they will make a move. At what level? I believe it'll be on the level that Jeremy was talking about right there. One of the second tier guys, like a Zadarius Smith. It's a good conversation. Yes. But from the Vikings standpoint, it's like whatever guy that they would go and trade for right now, it probably won't affect the Vikings game. Because for one, I want to see what they would do. I mean, I like Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn's a good defensive coach. I think he has a lot more talent on this roster than he's ever had before. I think that the defense, even without Hutchinson, is more talented than last year's roster for the Lions. And it's just because of the drastic upgrades of where the secondary is, right? When I look at Brian Branch, he played in the nickel corner last year, and he was one of the best corners at that position in there. But they move him back to safety. He's even better. That's the natural position. That feels like it's the natural position for Brian Branch. So there's still other superstar players that are on the Lions defense, and I'm curious to see how Aaron Glenn would put together a team that didn't have Hutchinson on it. I mean, who knows? I mean, you're talking about, you had Levi Onwuzurike in there playing 40 to 50 snaps, but maybe he plays 50 to 60 snaps instead. Maybe you put Aleem McNeil out there for a little bit longer. Maybe you're playing DJ Reader longer in the game. All of those things are possible. And like what Jeremy was talking about, you got specialty linebackers that have been sitting on your practice squad that haven't been there. Our practice squad went deep with players that know how to play our defense. And not one of them are like Aidan Hutchinson, but it takes a little bit from everybody. David says that might not need to get anybody. It's possible. I mean, I don't know. They'll get somebody. Holmes is a shrewd horse trader. He won't mortgage the team for one player. It depends on that player. There are a couple exceptions to that, I believe, David. And thank you for the comment, by the way. I love the conversation in here. If that player was Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, just based off of their contracts and the way that they are, For one, all that dead cap money and all that crap with the contract stays with the team. You don't get to trade your dead cap. So if they move on from Max and they have to absorb, $30 million in cap, it's their problem. We just get the contract. So I don't know who to think they would get. The Crosby thing seems like way, way more of a pipe dream. The Myles Garrett is still a pipe dream, but I don't think it's as big of a pipe dream as the Crosby one. It just depends on how desperate Cleveland gets. And that's why the Lions should be patient with this. Carolyn, have you heard if Carlton Davis will be able to play this Sunday? He cleared concussion protocol on Sunday. So he wasn't at practice yesterday, but the coach had made the comments that said that he will play on Sunday. I mean, there's obviously a chance that he won't, but it wasn't anything to worry about. That's the way that Dan Campbell made me feel. Good morning to Mario. Good morning, Villain Squad. Say hello to Mario. Ken says, overall, I think the defense is better this year. Even with the loss of Hutch compared to last year, our younger players have matured and our defensive backfield has gotten incredibly better. We will probably find our star in-house at defensive end. I think there is a potential that could happen in there. That still doesn't mean they're not going to go out and get somebody. I do love our back end right now. I think that it is. Our back end is looking good. I'm just putting some music on. Hit it in the back. But we're talking this Lions Villain Report. Brought to you by NFL Shop. I'm throwing a link into the comments right now. Brought to you by NFL Shop. You can get that jersey. You use that link. You can save up to 30% off from our affiliate marketing partner at NFL Shop. And this is the Lion Villain Report. And we're talking Hutchinson. We're talking about trying to replace the production. You cannot replace the player. You are not going to get one guy out of your 10 guys that's going to be able to do what Hutchinson could do. You have to try to replace the production, which is probably going to come from multiple areas. You can expect more out of your good players that you still have. That's the first thing. The first thing is you've got to get more production out of the players that you do have. And I don't know if that means a schematic change, but you have a strength in the middle with defensive tackles and big men that can play inside and outside. Even Josh Paschal, a bigger defensive end who actually pass rushes better from the interior. So you got Levi, you got DJ Reader, you got Aleem McNeil. So you got some dogs. And it's Aaron Glenn's job is to make sure that he can get the best guys out there that give you the best chance to win. Now, without Hutchinson, maybe guys that you were is like the rotation. You're going to expect more out of Aleem McNeil now. You are going to expect more out of Levi Onwuzurike. You know, he's having kind of a breakout year. Well, now he's going to have a chance to have an even bigger breakout year. You know, pressure is pressure, whether it comes from the interior or the exterior. Rodriguez could get some more playing time. I don't see Houston stepping up. Yeah, I don't know. Guys are going to get opportunities. I see James Houston, Mario. I see James Houston being able to get an opportunity to be that guy. I think AG is going to have fun with this. I don't know about that. I bet you it's a lot more fun to scheme with Hutchinson. But thank you for the comment, Barry. Ken says what fans need to realize is it's early in the season. You mortgage on one player. Now, what happens if another major star goes down? Heaven forbid. Of course. Yeah. That's a chance you got to take. I mean, we're where we're at. Super Bowl window is open. And here's something else to think about here. Is let's look at. Let me get this. Let me share a screen here with you. Because when we're looking at over the cap, I just want you to see something. Is like you start out when you take the team and you build it from scratch. Like in 2021, the Lions ripped the whole thing apart at the studs. You got rid of people. You even got rid of people that you lost money on getting rid of, like Jamie Collins. Like, it was so bad, I think that they were like $60 million over the cap. Didn't matter. You were cutting ties. You were trimming the fat. Everybody, you gone. He gone. And you kept like Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, a couple dudes from the previous regime, and that was it. Now, when you're drafting, every player matters. That you gotta draft, gotta make sure we draft well. And they did. They drafted well for 3 years. And now we're actually at this spot. When you look at it here, is like, here's 2025 roster now, right? Like, these guys are already on the team. Sewell, Alex Anzalone, David Montgomery, I'm saying Brown. You lose Carlton Davis, right? Okay, there's one piece. You still got Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Fox, Khalif Raymond, Amik Robertson is still here, Jalen Reeves-Babin. Your offensive line is still here. You need to replace Kevin Zeitler, but all these guys are still on the team. And you know what that means is that even if you draft a guy in the first round, the guy is going to have to make the roster. So I'm not trying to sell you on F them picks, but you got to figure out how to keep the guys that you picked that are the parts of you. And obviously you need to continue to draft well. But if you don't got to pay a first round pick for a minute, you're going to have to figure out a way to make the things work because you drafted so well with the guys that you have. You aren't going to need to just throw a whole bunch of extra guys on the team. That's why they took chances on guys like Manu. Like, they know Manu's not going to be ready for a couple of years, but if they do their development job right, which I mean, they have like 100% track record so far. Like, literally every single person. I mean, now you're starting to see Levi pop. Ifeatu Melifonwu, Derek Barnes, all these guys. They know the guys that they want to bring in. If they go out and they mortgage part of the farm, you're not mortgaging the farm. You could get a player if you have to mortgage 2 first round picks, right? 2025, 2026. Okay. But you get a player in return that you got the money. I mean, you look at it. Look at that. You got cap space. Next year, you got cap space. You know, you are losing a couple players. You're losing Carlton Davis. You're not going to have Marcus Davenport. Where's the other voids? And that's it. Everybody else is going to be on the team. And Zeitler, Kevin Zeitler. You're not going to have Kevin Zeitler, but you might be able to sign him for, but you're still going to have $79 million in cap. So you got the money to do this. If you wanted to bring in a max contract guy to rent for 2024 and 2025. I absolutely am okay with the Lions trading for a player. You just locked up Aleem McNeil. And if you bring in one of these said players, what that means 100% is you're probably not going to keep Derek Barnes. You're probably not going to be able to keep Ifeatu Melifonwu. There are players, you know, from that first draft class that, I mean, you're just not going to be able to keep them. You know, because I believe that you want to be able to keep like a Kirby Joseph. But it's like you want to be able to keep some of this band together, these high level players. You want to be able to keep that together. And the next round would come in the Kirby Joseph year, where you're going to have to pay Hutchinson and Joseph. In 2026, it's Branch. So it's like, I believe they're making those moves. But here's the thing. If you find a guy, because where the next problem comes in is that Branch year, right? You're probably going to have to extend guys like, or restructure guys like Amon-Ra, Sewell, or Goff in that year. That's going to be a restructure year and see where we're at. Figure out a way we can keep Branch, right? So if they mortgage the future, and Brad's been hitting in every round, so I have no doubt that he could take a second round pick and turn him into a guy that we need. Ken Fisher says, what about Gibbs? Gibbs is signed through 2026. And then you have the 5th year option that could carry you through 2027. So with the extension of David Montgomery, I mean, this is awesome. I'm glad you bring this up. But this band is together through 2020 now. Because here's the guys that are here in 2027 right now without having to do anything, with $150 million in cap space on that year. I understand not all that there's not, you got to fill your roster, but you got Goff, Decker, Sewell, Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Glasgow, Mahogany. So what is that? Let's see. Who did we? Oh, Frank Wright. We lost Frank the Tank. We lost Frank the Tank in 2026. So, so through 2026, let's do it through 2026, 2027. You got Goff, Ragnow, Decker, Sewell, Glasgow. You have 4/5 of your offensive line that are going to be here in 2025 and 2026 with Amon-Ra St. Brown, with Jamison Williams still here. And on defense, you know, you still got Sam Laporta. And on defense, you got, you know, all your cornerbacks that you just drafted from this year. You got Jack Campbell. You got Brian Branch. So it's like you don't need a plethora of picks, right? You're not going to pick 7 times and get 7 more starters that you're looking for. You know, why do you think they drafted Sion Vaki? It wasn't because they needed him to be an impact player. They need him to serve a specific role, and he was actually the best person at serving that role. They drafted a guy that could start on special in the 4th round because the main spots are filled. Lions foundation is why we are winning. If it works, don't fix it, right? What about Gibbs? Laporta? Yep. Look, Laporta is, like I said, I just showed you 2026. This is 2026 right here. In 2026, Laporta is still on the team for $1 million. Now, I'm not saying in 2026 they won't extend him. What I believe what will happen in 2026 is cap space wise, what you can do to free up money is to turn base salary into signing bonus and then kick the can down the road. So you got 3 guys. Look at these base salaries, 27 million here. There's 19 million here. And these are 3 guys right here that you could get some money from and lower a cap number. You can lower that cap number with Jared Goff if you extend him at that point. Or you could say Penei Sewell at that point, you extend him, you kick that can down the road. You can take $19 million, convert it to signing bonus, and lower that cap number by, $18 million if you needed to. Or right here, $27 million right here, you can extend Amon-Ra St. Brown at that time in 2026. And then you could lower that $33 million cap number. Goff's cap number is $69 million. If you extend him in there, you could lower his number by up to $50 million. So what does that mean? That means in 2026, one of those guys is going to get an extension or a restructure, Ken. And they're going to re-sign Laporta, and they're going to re-sign Brian Branch. Next year, the Lions are going to re-sign Kirby Joseph. All while trying to continue to draft well. So we can't lose another tight end. Laporta has to get signed. Yeah. And they don't have to worry about it until 2026 or next year. Right now, he's not even eligible to be extended. You have to be in the 3rd year of your deal. He's only in the 2nd year. Sign them, not sell them. So, what is your thoughts out there? Trade Houston and picks for Myles Garrett. I like that. If you had to trade your backup quarterback and Hendon Hooker to get one of these deals done, would you want to do it? I know Jeremy's against that, and I'm actually against it too. Because I think that Hendon Hooker is going to be worth a lot going into his 3rd season as our backup. But that's going to conclude our conversation for today. I loved it. I got everything I wanted to get out of today. I'm glad that you guys popped on today, especially the live audience. The live audience, when you guys are right here at 10 o'clock, the live audience is great. And I appreciate you guys for being on the live version of the show. Now, for everybody else, God, we had over 11,000 views on yesterday's show afterwards. So that makes me appreciate this live audience even more. So just know that your comments and your questions and concerns will live on the internet forever. Mario says that he's against trading Hooker. I'm with you. I am with you, because they might have something there too. They might have something. But this is the main event. This is the Lion Villain Report, and I am your host, Russell Wayne. I'm here Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. It's usually till 11. I gave you some bonus today because I was feeling it. I'm feeling this conversation. But this is Thursday. Thursday is our lock picks. We gave you our lock picks. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers to give the Chiefs the first L of the season. There you go. And you can find us on the Facebook page. We have over 55,000, approaching 56,000 right there. We thank anybody that likes, shares, comments, follows. We appreciate you for your support. We're on YouTube at Lions Villain Squad. Brought to you by NFL Shop. Use the link in the comments or this QR code. Save yourself up to 30% off of your order. Thank you to NFL Shop, our affiliate marketing partners. Faith, family, and then football. It's in that order. We use football. Spend time with our family. We use football to create memories. We don't let football use us. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon your entire day until we meet again tomorrow for the Lion Villain Report. Peace out.
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never to sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning, it's crazy. Opportunity, your opportunity. Your opportunity, your opportunity, this your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, this your opportunity, your opportunity.